Hello, happy and smart developers. Welcome to the coding board. This is series of UI technology CSS and this is part 13. Now, this is part 3 of CSS rule or specificity. So let's begin this session. How selector and specificity in CSS works. How selector and specificity in CSS works. Inline CSS, nothing but in tag only we have style attribute, and this inline CSS overrides CSS rules in style tag and CSS files. So basically what it is telling, inline CSS overrides CSS rules in style tag and .css file. Now, a more specific selector takes precedence over a less specific one. A more specific selector takes precedence over a less specific one. Rules that appear later in the code. Rules that appear rules that appear later in the code override earlier rules if both have the same specificity. It means if specificity is same and two declarations are trying to access one single HTML element, then rules that appear later in the code override earlier rules. Now, a CSS rule with hash exclamatory important always takes precedence. What are the three parts of CSS rule? Let me give one important note. Already we have learned what are different types of CSS rule, correct? Here we are learning what are the three parts of a CSS rule. The CSS syntax consists of a set of rules. The CSS syntax the CSS syntax consists of a set of rules. These rules have three parts: selector, property, and its value of property, correct? Now, example we will learn in next session. See here, this is selector. Within selector we have opening and closing curly braces, and within curly braces we have property and its value. It is one basic example. H1 color blue. Grouping selectors. You can apply a style to many selectors. You can apply styles to many selectors if you like. Just separate the selectors within a comma. So what it is telling, let's understand. Here we have multiple selectors H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. To all these selectors we are going to apply only one property and its value, that is color is blue. Applying multiple properties. Color blue, font family Arial, Helvetica, sans serif. This is one value of color property, and here H1 is selector of this particular statement. Okay, so that's it in this session. Let's meet in another session. Thank you.